Hi guys, so in today's video I just thought I'd do the market forecast on what I expect the markets to do. I've just picked out 5 pairs. I haven't actually analysed them. I've just literally just gone through and just seen what sort of pairs are trending most smoothly, because we've had a bit of a choppy week this week. Not really choppy per se, but a lot of volatility, especially with the dollar. The S&P 500 and the dollar index are basically just being crazy, and that's been causing the dollar pairs to move like crazy. I've managed to benefit more than not on these pairs. I was looking for the month of September as an example. 80% of my profits were all from the euro dollar, 10% was from the pound dollar, and a few extra percentages were Aussie dollar and dollar Mexican peso. If you look back on my videos, you may see some of the trades that I've taken, so you can see yourselves. But the dollar for me has been very, very good. I like the volatility. I've been profiting well from it. But also at the same time, it gets quite annoying after a certain period of time. You'd rather just follow that trend. So, as I said, the pound dollar now, for an example, I got this up on the hourly time frame. Just to start off with, you can see how we was in this sort of consolidation for quite some time. As I said about the volatility, it's fallen down, gone back up, and look at that one candle is just an absolute monster, really. If I just do a little quick pip count for you all, it's 135 pips on 1 hour, which is just insane. So as I said, it's been very, very volatile, quite choppy here on the pound dollar. But as you can see here, at the end of the week, we finally broke to a new high. So this is what I'm looking out for now on this pair. So I went over to the daily. Let's go over to the daily now. Well, basically what we can see that we're still in that downtrend, in my personal opinion. We've moved on to the uptrend. We've hit our first low, pull back, hit our second low, pull back. And this is what I was actually looking for trading here. If we look closely here, you can see this double top formation on the daily with a engulfing bearish candle. If we move to the hourly, you can actually see here, and this area was holding quite well, but now on the close of Friday, we can see how price has broken above it. So I'm looking now basically to see what happens next. I'm not saying the trend has changed shift, mainly because price is yet to break the swing here. So there's a possibility that it now just rejects here, maybe even retest for a third time with another push phase downward. So that is quite a high possibility. The second possibility is obviously we keep on going with this trend. We'll break this previous swing and change to a new momentum, change it to a bullish rather than a bearish, and this is the next possibility. What I'm sort of looking out for personally, if I'm using the fundamental side, so obviously the pound is, the UK is in a very good place right now. They're always talking about further lockdowns, and obviously lockdowns affect the economy. So I'm actually surprised at seeing this strength, but I looked at the dollar index and you can basically see why the pound dollar exploded. Basically, you can see how the dollar index completely crashed, and that's mainly because of the S&P 500 gained a lot of traction here, as you can see. So I guess traders are moving their money from the dollar index back into the stock market, and that's given the dollar some negative side because no one's really buying into the dollar. Also in America, they print a lot of money to avoid inflation. So what we're trying to do here now is just trying to sort of predict what's going to happen next. So if I was only using my technical analysis, I would basically wait for the pullback into this zone here. So hopefully we'll see the price fall down into this area where we had our previous swing. And this was a really key level of resistance, as you can see over here, and here. Price has now broken that area, so that should now hopefully turn into support if we're using the obvious signs of trading, and then another push higher. Now, I would have to wait to see if what price does at this area. So I'm presuming the market's going to open with a gap lower. So I'm hoping, or well, I'm expecting the market to at least open slightly lower, maybe to around, maybe the candle may open around here with a gap like this. Maybe not quite as big, but you know what I mean. And the main reason for that is, as I said, like that. So as I said, the main reason for that is due to all the recent news all weekend about what Boris Johnson's possibility of what he's going to do next. It's not really looking positive for the pound itself. So I'm waiting to see what happens on Monday now with the market. I've got my areas marked out using the daily, as I said. We've broken these two previous swings here, this double top. We've broken a double top here. We've moved higher now, quite significantly higher. However, using the uptrend that was previously in this swing here, hasn't yet been broken. So I can't really say, I personally wouldn't say the pound has now changed its bullish trend. If it breaks a 13600 area, that's when I will start considering a buy. If, for example, using my lower, because I don't really swing trade as much now. I'm more of a scalper sort of trader. So what I probably will do is wait to see what sort of happens on this pullback here. Pull back down to the 1300. Maybe possibly try and get a 60 pip trade up to this daily level here. For a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio, something like this as an example. Depending on what sort of candle forms after touching this area, you could even move it up a little bit here, bring this down a little bit and extend our stop slightly. I'll go for 1.5, so this would be my minimum risk reward ratio. But this is what I'm sort of expecting the markets to do. You can also see how the RSI is overbought, but you know, the markets can be overbought and oversold for multiple periods of time. So what we're going to do now is wait to see what happens here at this area now. Wait for the price to pull. It's going to have to pull back eventually because it's broken to its new high. So it really does have to pull back. It might hit this area, then pull back, and then move back up higher. Or it could literally just fall back in line to where it was and keep on its downward trend, you know. So obviously we had changed the trend from this level. So this red candle basically said we're in a new trend now. We pulled up very slightly, another push phase, exhaustion phase, another push phase, then we came back up and we've created that double top with another push downwards. We're now coming back up to this previous swing. Don't know if that is going to hold or not, but as I said, as I'm only scalping the markets more than anything else, I'd rather be in and out day trading, so in and out on the same day most likely, sometimes even less than that. I'm hoping the price will pull down here. Show me some sort of maybe a double bottom around this area, or show me some form of candlestick pattern, and then I might long the position 50-60 pips upwards, depending on when I can get an entry. When it gets to this area, then that will be where I will determine the overall trend of the pound dollar. I've spent 8 minutes on this one pair. That's nuts. That was not supposed to happen. So daily euro dollar. We'll have a little look at this now. So the exact same as the pound, basically. I think pretty much every person I've ever known was looking for shorts from here. I actually got in a very nice short a couple of times on the euro dollar, but this engulfing candle is pretty big. So again, I'm probably expecting the market to try and come back up to these previous highs, maybe the 11800, maybe around here, 1874. Using the lower time frame now, we'll have a little look. Maybe we could do the same thing as the pound, basically wait for a pullback into around this area here, and look for a long position up to these highs. So that's what I'll be sort of looking out for on the euro dollar. I can't say yet. I don't know if it'll break to new highs, but there is a bit of potential that it will retest these previous ones at least, maybe. So there is great potential here, but as I said, I wouldn't get in and out of the markets more quickly due to my account size. I don't really want to over risk and hold my positions too long. So there is a potential here to see price retest and come back up to these previous highs. We'll have to wait and see what happens on the market open. So obviously, guys, you need to remember that your analysis can be completely off. The main reason why traders actually analyze the markets is to prepare. You don't go into an exam with no revision done or no work completed in the past. And this is what your market analysis is all about. You're basically analyzing or thinking what to expect the market to do, and this is basically your homework ready for when the market does open. If you're wrong, you have to just basically forget about what you previously thought and start again with what the market is telling you. Sometimes you can be absolutely spot on and you think you're a fortune teller. Other times you're completely off and you feel a bit like, what's happened here. But at the end of the day, guys, we don't move the markets. We don't know where the market is going. All you can do is prepare and hope that you're right with what you expect the markets to do, and then trade that and obviously become profitable. So here we are on the Aussie dollar. Around this area here now, on this previous swing was our last swing before it created a lower high here. So we had our high, then we had a lower high, broke lower, created that swing pullback, and we was unable to break any lower than this point here. We've now broken that structure from the previous swing here. So there's a possibility that the trend on the Aussie dollar is actually going to change bullish now. So I will be looking for buys like the euro and the pound dollar. We are looking to see if we can get some longs out of this. Obviously, all these pairs basically move the same because the counter currency is the dollar. So, not always 100%, but they do more or less sometimes move in the exact same way. Depends if there's any major news. For example, if the Aussie creates a vaccine before the UK, then obviously the Aussie dollar will go up, whereas the pound dollar won't really move too much. Although so it won't really move as much. But saying what's happened this Friday has all been because of the dollar, and because the DXY, the dollar index, has crashed. That's affected all three of these pairs because it's a counter currency. You'll also see it would have affected the gold trades as well. So here we are on gold anyway. I am looking at potentially trading gold and pound yen are a little bit more, well, not a little bit more, they're quite a lot more riskier pairs to trade, but there is huge amounts of potential profits in there. We can see this little zone here on gold, and we can see our price is currently inside that zone. So what we'll have to wait and see now is what happens next. I will probably wait for a bit of a retest back lower around this area. Wait for the retest here and see if we can get some longs higher again, because we've broken out of this zone here on the lower time frames, and also on the 4-hour we broke to new highs. For me personally, I think that there is a possibility that we might even get back up to them previous highs here on the left, around the 2000 mark. Well, more than 2000, 2050 or something mark. And that's what I'll be looking out for on the gold. Pound yen, I'm just going to rush through the gold and pound yen because they're a bit more riskier than most pairs. You've got to be a bit more careful with it all. So we can see here, it's quite a nice trend line here. I don't really use trend lines, not unless they're very obvious, like this one. This one is extremely obvious, and you can also see a little bit of structure here that's actually been broken. So we've had that previous swing. Actually, we'll move it up here. Yeah, this will be a better structure area. So you can see it was support over here, resistance here, and we're coming back up. So we can see that little flagship pattern here. Basically what we want to see now is if price will stay within this zone, break lower here, or break higher here. Who knows what may happen, but basically that's what I'm looking out for on pound yen. We're just going to congest that price in here in this zone, and see what basically happens. Hopefully we'll get a break of either the trend or the up or the support area of resistance zone even. Using the daily, then you can see how price was already been retesting this black area quite a lot. Actually, this black line is very, very good resistance, to be honest. So we'll have to see what price does here, as on the 4-hour I think, which was easier to read. So yeah, we're just looking to see what happens with price here now, whether price will break either areas. That's what I'm looking out for on them three pairs. So the pound, we're waiting for, we're basically waiting for the pullback and then a break higher. Same with the euro dollar, Aussie dollar as well. Waiting for the retest of this area here to break higher. Gold then, we're looking for maybe a retest down to this black area and a push higher, or see what sort of happens. If this area gets broken, I might even look for shorts. Pound yen, then we're looking at congestion here and see which area it holds and what one doesn't. Aussie New Zealand, very obvious area of structure here. Support, resistance, resistance, resistance. Price is currently coming down there, so this could be a potential here. I'm going to actually mark this up to see where that might lead me. But there is maybe a potential to go long from here. That's on the 4-hour. Daily, you can see we've actually broken higher, so that would be actually quite a nice pullback and then a break higher if we can, and maybe even retest up to these previous highs here and see where price may take us. But that is, yeah, that's worth looking at. Let's see here, EuroCAD on the hourly. You can see how price is unable to break new lows. We've also got the RSI divergence. So divergence I use quite a lot in my trading. So you can see how price is stalling here, unable to break to new lows. But you can see how the RSI is making new highs, meaning there's a loss of momentum here. The only problem is there is actually a downtrend, so we might see price pull up here area to this structure, and maybe we'll look for shorts. On the hourly, it's in a downtrend, so it's moving so sideways, and on the daily and the 4 hours, so it's not really great potential, but there might be something there to look at. Euro JPY is making new highs all the way on the 4 hour. That's doing quite well. It's keeping its strength. Nothing really else that I am looking out for. I think I was USD CAD I was looking out for on the daily. I was basically waiting to see what happens when price comes back down to this area. As you can see, a very strong area, support. I think we've only broken it here, and that was only minor, so you could even draw a box if you'd rather. So you could look inside this area for maybe a long opportunity here, and we'll see what happens around this area. Oh, don't know what happened there, so we could look and see what happens if price ever does make it down there. I think there is a possibility, but it might take a few days. It might even not be until November. But I've marked that up anyway, ready, because always I say, guys, your analysis is basically your homework. You want to be prepared for it all. And basically that's what I'm looking out for on the markets. There's 5-6 pairs there that's worth watching for me personally. And I will start taking them trades. I'll share them with my education group, who can basically follow them if they wanted to. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you can give us a like and subscribe, that would be brilliant. Thank you very much for watching.